So, I mean, I do view myself as a really successful person, but I mean, there's definitely been tons and tons of obstacles in my life. Going back, this is something I'm really not too proud of. I'm not really sure why I did this, especially because at the time, it was the exact month that I made like $12,000 that month. I went to Kmart and I actually shoplifted a few things and I got in trouble for it. Fortunately, I didn't get any charges pressed against me. It was just, Kmart just kind of gave me a civil fine just from their company. But that really taught me a little bit of a lesson that, I am making this money. I can afford those things. There's no need to steal $10 worth of something. So, I mean, that was something that I'm really not proud of, and that really kind of set me back, kind of really affected me for a whole year. And I was all good, and then I went to college, and I think it was my second night at Ohio University, and I actually ended up getting an underage. It was my first underage at OU, and I think it was just me going to school and just feeling free, because I grew up in a house where, my parents were very structured, and they would let us get away and go hang out with our friends and whatnot, but we still had to be home by a certain time. We still had to do chores, do all this stuff. So I think when I went to school, I felt so free that I just completely forgot about any rules in this town. So I ended up getting arrested, went to county jail for the night, spent it in the drunk take. So that really shook me up, and I really started to question if OU was really meant for me, honestly, after that point, because I got in trouble with the school, I got in trouble with the court. So I was really thinking about transferring at that point, and I just wanted to go home and live at home and go to community college. But that's when I also decided to rush my business fraternity, and that's whenever I found my place. I found my best friends, really changed my mind, and after that year I decided that OU was really the place that I need to be. So then going forward, I guess my next obstacle, actually I have another obstacle. So my spring semester, I've always been the type of student that I always got really good grades. All through high school I had straight A's. I never had to study, even for the hardest quizzes and exams. I never had to study. So then I go to college, and things are just so different, and I take calculus class, and my senior year, since I was so advanced in math, I didn't have to take any math classes because I maxed out the curriculum at Moon. So I skipped a year of math, and then I ended up taking calculus my spring semester of freshman year. So it's a whole year and a half later. I haven't even looked at any sort of formulas, done any equations in that amount of time. So I ended up failing that class. It just really set me back. I didn't do too well. Made me really question again if OU was meant for me, or if college was meant for me. It went through my mind a lot just because of my success with my Twitter account, maybe I should drop out, do my own thing, be self-employed. But I took the class again, I passed it, so I overcame that failure. And then going forward to this past school year, I got my second underage homecoming weekend. So I knew in the back of my mind, I had an underage under my belt. I knew what I needed to do to be safe. I knew I needed to make smart decisions. And I don't know, I just ended up drinking for over 24 hours, and it just didn't end up well. I ended up getting arrested at 8 o'clock in the morning. So that was definitely kind of embarrassing on my part. But luckily I was able to work out a deal with the school and with the court, just because they saw how good of a person I actually am, and that while I may make mistakes sometimes that really kind of are major mistakes, that just the person that I am really shone through. So they were able to drop those charges, and just kind of taught me a lesson. So it really taught me to, at this point, after making all those decisions and how they backfired on me throughout the years, that at this point going forward in my life, I really need to make conscious decisions, because every decision I make is going to affect my entire future at this point.